welcome you once again in this session. So we were discussing about the global positioning systems and students are presenting now. So there was the disconnectivity problem. Okay, our next participant is Prince Goswami.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Prince, your presentation start now.
Hello everyone, myself Prince Goswami. I am from branch of Chemical
Just
Engineering.
raise your voice.
Today's my topic is Hello everyone, myself Prince Goswami. I am from branch of Chemical Engineering. Topic is global positioning system. Global positioning system is a radio navigation system that allow land, sea, and airborne users to determine their exact location, velocity, and time 24 hours a day in all weather conditions anywhere in the world. The capability of today's system tender other well-known navigation and positioning technologies, namely the magnetic compass, the chronometer, and radio-based
Just raise your
devices.
voice, Prince. Your voice is not.
Okay, ma'am. In practical and absolute, GPS is used to support a broad range of military, commercial, and consumer applications. GPS does not require the user to transmit any data, and it operates independently of any telephonic or internet reception. So this technology can enhance the usefulness of the GPS positioning information. The GPS provides critical positioning capabilities to military, civil, and commercial users around the world. The United States government created the systems, maintains and controls it, and makes it freely accessible to anyone with a GPS receiver. The GPS project was started by the U.S. Department of Defense in 1973. The first prototype spacecraft was launched in 1978, and the full constellation of 24 satellites became operational in 1993. Now we will talk about the structure. The current GPS consists of three major segments. These are the space segment and a control segment and a user segment. The US Space Force develops, maintains and operates the space and control segments. GPS satellites broadcast signals from space, and each GPS receiver uses these signals to calculate its three-dimensional location, latitude, longitude, and altitude, and the current time.
What happened, Prince?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Is it finished? There's so many things you have mentioned here. Just one minute. Hello, is it finished? This is the four primary sections of GPS. What are these? How position and coordinates are important in the GPS? Are you listening me, Prince?
Yes, ma'am.
How the position and coordinate you have mentioned. You have mentioned so many things on the
Yes,
slide.
Position coordinate the distance and direction between two waypoints or a position and a waypoint. Travel progress reports, accurate time measurement.
It is written here. Radio waves travel at the speed of light. So okay. How the distance is calculated. Either satellite and receiver. Pseudo random noise code. You have included so many things you should have mentioned here. signal from one satellite, then signal from the another two, then the means the common positioning, common location is calculated on the basis of these three. What is the application of computer science in this? What is the application of software in the GPS? In GPS we have so many segments, 3 segments mainly. So where the computer science or the IT or software can be used? Okay, what is your vision? How you are going to use your present education program to save the environment? Can you tell me? Next participant. Okay, do you have something to tell, Prince? Next participant is Brajesh Kumar. Your presentation start now. Brajesh Kumar. Yes, just raise your voice.
Today I am here to present my presentation.
Yes. Just start your presentation.
Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am, and good afternoon to all of you. My name is Brajesh Kumar, secondary C student. Today I am here to present my presentation on the topic of GPS. Let's begin it. Here is a topic which I will discuss in this presentation. History, what is GPS, how it works, frequency, limitations, application, and conclusions. History, the GPS project was developed in 1973 to overcome the limitation of previous navigation system. GPS was created and released by US Department of Defense and was originally run with 24 satellites. What is GPS? GPS is a space satellite navigation system provide location and time information in all the weathers. Maintained by US state government and it's freely accessible by everyone with a GPS receivers. Working principles. You can find someone's location if you know the distance from others already known location. There are 2 things which we will know if you find correct location of any objects. The first one, current location of GPS satellite. The second one, the distance between receiver's position and the GPS satellites. And next, GPS frequencies. There are 5 types of frequencies in any GPS according to their role and works. Limitation: GPS can provide worldwide 3-dimensional position 24 hours of a day in any time, any weather. But there must be a clear line of sight between the GPS antenna and 4 other than 4 satellites. Hence, it becomes difficult to ensure reliable positioning. These difficulties are particularly present in the urban areas. The GPS signal may bounce off nearly object, causing another problem called multiple interference. Applications. Mainly GPS is used in the field of military. So GPS integrated into fighters, tankers, helicopters, ships, submarines, tanks, jeeps and soldier equipment. टारगेट ट्रैकिंग के लिए, सेकंड क्या था, सर्च एंड रेस्क्यू टीम के लिए. Conclusion: GPS is a satellite-based navigation system, thus can be used to determine the position and object on the Earth. Its application field is vast, and new applications will continue to be created on the technology involved. As the GPS constellation, like man-made stars in the sky, can be used for guiding and navigation. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so what is the application? Okay, presentation.
शुरुआती दौर में जो इसका यूज था वो मिलिट्री वर्क के लिए किया जाता, लेकिन बाद में आम लोगों के लिए भी यूज किया जाने लगा. लेकिन शुरुआती में टैंकर्स में और जो सबमरीन्स वगैरह में जीपीएस लगाया गया लोकेशन ट्रैक करने के लिए.
Means how we use a computer science or IT in this field. What is the relation between how the GPS work? Like we have GPS location in our mobile. We have some software. How it is connected
Yes,
to
ma'am.
GPS? What is it relation? We in mobile we can track the location.
When throughout a software,
So there is the machinery part, is like the electronic device, but there is the software part also. So you should know about what is that part, what is that segment, how it works.
so I have no idea about.
But you people have pasted so many things on the slides, It should
Okay.
not be done. Anybody is from these slides? Anybody is here? Okay. Now this is over. Now we are taking another one. I think this is the presentation, yes. This is the merged presentation of okay. Now Shubhi Bajpayee, next participant is Shubhi Bajpayee. Is he here?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, your presentation start now. Just
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Subhi, a BTech student from EC branch. Today, I want to present my views on the topic Global Positioning System in GPS. To start the introduction of GPS. GPS is the space-based radio positioning system which provides suitably equipped using with highly accurate positioning, velocity and time data. GPS provides specially coded signal that can be processed in a GPS receiver. A GPS receiver decodes time signal transmission from multiple satellites and calculated its position. Earth circumference, Earth's 24,900 miles rotation, 1,038 miles per hour day cycle. In Moon से 1/4 size of Earth distance from the Earth, and the history of GPS. Flexibility studies began in 1960. Pentagon appropriate funding in 1973. First satellite launch in 1978. System declared fully operational in April 1978. Scientist John Hopkins has developed a technique of the using radio signals from satellite which provide accurate position update to navigation equipment of US Navy ship and submarines. And how does it works? Station of the Earth and the GPS receiver, the distance between each of these points can be calculated. The distance is calculated based on the amount of time it takes of the radio signal to travel between these points. Using satellite in the space ground allow the GPS receiver to know where you are the term of the latitude and longitude of the Earth. The more satellite the GPS can see, the more accurate reading. The GPS must see the satellite so it does not work well in the dense forest land underwater in the inside the building. Satellite segment. Satellite segment, there are three segments: space segment, control segment, user segment. Space segment, the space segment consists of 24 satellites circulating the Earth at 12,000 milli at altitude. The high altitude allow the signal to cover the greater area. The control segment take the satellite and then provide them with the corrected orbit and time information. The user segment consists of the users and their GPS receiver. The number of simultaneous users in it is limitless. And the waypoint. A waypoint is based on coordinate entered into GPS receiver memory. It can be either a safe position fixed or user entered coordinate. It can be created for any remote point of the Earth. It must have a receiver design code or number or a user supplied name. Once entered and saved, a waypoint remains unchanged in the receiver memory until edited and deleted. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Can you explain the software part? I mean, we have the GPS tracker in our mobile.
Technique of the using radio signals for the satellite which provide accurate position update to navigation equipment.
Okay, how we can use the GPS in the environment, in the restoration or in any positive development?
The distance is calculated based on the amount of time is taken for a radio signals to travel between these points using satellite space ground and allow the GPS receiver to know where you are in terms of latitude and longitude on the earth.
Okay, can you give me few examples? We are using the GPS based devices in our daily life. Can you give the examples, few examples other than the mobile?
Yes, ma'am. I will use mobile phone, computers, and electronic gadgets.
Okay, can you name which thing we are using? Any application that is that that are used in the society? Okay, in the mobile we have the GPS tracker, right? So nowadays we have some more devices, more things that are running on the basis of GPS location. Can you give the example? Okay, there are so many examples. Huh? Similar. Okay, next participant is Kamakya. If the car is one example, we are running the Ola and the different things we are running using the GPS
Excuse me,
location.
ma'am. Can I give a presentation first?
What is your name?
Harsh Saxena, CAC 24.
Okay, I'm just looking your PPT. No, I missed the start is Anushka Avasthi. Kamakya is here.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to give the presentation now?
Ma'am, I am from chemical engineering. Ma'am, should I give the presentation now? Or should I wait for it?
What is your name?
Ma'am, Puneet Mishra.
Okay, Puneet Mishra. So you want to give your presentation just now?
Ma'am, would you give me the permission to present the presentation?
There are so many persons, they are waiting also.
Okay.
Kamakya is here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just finish your presentation. Give no.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, start
Ma'am,
wasting your time.
Ma'am, please limit the timing for just 2 minutes.
Okay, yes. No, only four minutes you can take, 4 to 5. But not more than that. And you should not include so many multiple slides in your presentation while you are not explaining. Okay. Okay.
Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kamakya Chaturvedi from CSC second year. First of all, I would like to express my special thanks to my EVS teacher, Mrs. Mamta ma'am, who gave me this opportunity that I can express my thoughts on GPS. My presentation is based on the Global Positioning System. So basically, what is GPS? The full form of the GPS is Global Positioning System. It is a satellite-based navigation system. GPS is used to find out the location of a person or to track out the things or to find out the timing. GPS is originally and the official name of the GPS is Navistar GPS. Navistar means navigation system with time and ranging. GPS is owned by the United States government and operated by the United States Space Force. Firstly, GPS is used for the military purpose, but nowadays what is happening, it is commonly open for the civilian uses. So far, there is 72 satellites basically launched, in which 33 satellites are currently working. The first satellite is launched on 1978 February and last satellite is launched on 1995. This satellite-based navigation system basically consists of a constellation of 24 satellites in which 6 Earth central orbital planes, each with 4 satellites orbiting at a speed of 18,700 mph and at a distance of 20,000 km above the Earth. So GPS is basically work on the 3 segments: space segment, control segment and the user segment. First is space segment, means the satellites which are circling the Earth and how the satellites are arranged in the space, it is defined in the space segment. Next is control segment. It is made up to the Earth-based monitor stations, monitor control stations and the ground antennas. The monitor stations on almost every continent in the world, including North and South America, Europe, Asia and Australia. And the last one is user segment. That means the GPS receivers and the transmitters, including items like watches, smartphones, telematic devices. Now let's see how GPS works. So GPS works through a technique that is called trilateration. Trilateration, as it is defined, there is 3 satellites. Minimum necessary satellites are 3 to find out the accurate location. 3 satellites are necessary to find out the accurate location of any user. The GPS devices read signals. A single satellite broadcasts a microwave radio signals picked up by a GPS device to the satellite. Since the GPS device only gives the information about the distance from the satellite, a single satellite cannot much location information. When a satellite sends a signal, it creates a circle with a radius measured from the GPS device to the satellite. And using this trilateration technique, we can find out the accurate location. So India don't have this type of the technique, but nowadays what is happening, India is also developed its own navigation system, which is also known as IRNSS or NAVIC. So what are the use of GPS? We can find out the location, navigation, tracking, mapping and timing. Location means to determine the location of any place. Navigation, that means when we have to go from one place to the another, we can use the GPS devices. Next one is tracking, means to use to keep an eye on any object or a personal movement. Mapping, to draw the map of the world. And timing means to find out the accurate time. So this is all about the GPS. Thank you everyone for giving your precious time to me.
Okay. Thank you, Kamakhya. Can you give me few examples? The devices which are running on the basis of GPS, Global Positioning System.
Ma'am, the examples are like mobile phones, we can find out the locations, or tracking devices, electronic gadgets, computers.
Okay, it is the tracking devices. We know that the global positioning system that we use it to track. But what is the application of this? How we are using this global positioning system in our daily life? How we can use their
Ma'am, if we want to go from one place to the another place, GPS is already in our phone. We can easily turn on the GPS and use the Google Map and write the destination where we want to go. And automatically the distance we can easily find out, and follow this distance we can easily reach at the destination.
Okay, there are many more applications you can look for. Like in the environment also we can see, because using the satellite data we can analyze the biodiversity of the area, or okay,
Yes, ma'am.
types of the plants, types of the vegetation found in the different area. Who's
Yes,
the next
ma'am. Using
participant?
GPS device we can easily find.
What? Okay, did you tell something? Okay, who is the next participant? Anushka? Anushka is here? Yes. Your presentation start now.
Okay, ma'am.
Anushka Avasthi.
Yes, ma'am.
Just start your presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm giving my seminar on application of possible to precisely identify locations on the earth by measuring distances from the satellites. Now we'll know how does the GPS works. GPS satellite circles the earth twice a day in very precise orbit and transmits signals information to the earth. GPS receivers takes this information and use triangulation to calculate the user's exact location. Essentially, the GPS receiver compares the time a signal was transmitted by a satellite with the time it was received. So this was how the GPS works. Now we'll come to the methods how the GPS measure. Now there are three methods of GPS measurement that are utilized by surveyors. The first is static GPS baseline. Second is real-time kinematic, that is RTK observation. Third is continuously operating reference station, also known as CORS. So now we'll get back to the first one, that is static GPS baseline, which is used for determining accurate coordinates for survey points by simultaneously recording GPS observation over a known and unknown survey points, and it takes at least 20 minutes to do that. Now coming to the second one, that is real-time kinematic observation, that is RTK. This is where one receiver remain in one position over a known point, that is the base station, and the other receiver is a rover that moves. The position of the rover can be computed and stored with a few seconds using a radio link to provide a coordinate correction. Now the third one is continuously operating reference station, that is CORS. This is where a survey quality GPS receiver is permanently installed in a location as a starting point for any GPS measurement in the district. Common users of CORS are mining sites, major engineering projects, and local governments. So these were the methods. Now coming to the application of the GPS. So GPS technology in now is everything from cell phone and wristwatches to bulldozers, shipping containers and ATMs. GPS boosts productivity across a wide swath of economy to include farming, construction, mining, surveying, package delivery, and logical supply chain management. Global positioning system application generally fall into 5 major categories. That is, first one is location, that determines the position. Second is navigation, that is getting from one location to another. Third one is tracking, that is monitoring object or personal movement. Now the fourth one is mapping, like creating maps of the world. We can create the map of any point, any area in the whole world. The fifth one and the last one is timing. That is like it can bring the precise timing to the world. So GPS is basically what? GPS software is used to program, manage and monitor GPS services, radio navigations, devices that provides positional information for objects on Earth based on data transmitted by orbiting satellites. So that was
What happened?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Is there any problem?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you can simply ask question based on that given topic. I don't think there is a need of repeating the theory again and again.
What are you saying? But everybody has to present, no?
Yeah, but ma'am, we are sitting since morning and it's taking a lot of time.
Okay, we have to attend everybody's seminar, at least on our topic. We should know. Okay, I think she lost the connection. We can take her.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am. I'm here.
Anushka is here. You lost the connection, I think.
No, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay.
Ma'am, maybe my voice will not be coming, but I'm here.
But there was a disconnection, I think. Have you done?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm done.
Okay, what is the application again? The same question is, what is the application of GPS in our daily life?
Ma'am, GPS application is now in everything. As I told, it is in cell phones, in rich watches, to bulldozers, in shipping shipping containers. GPS, ma'am, it's like boost our productivity across a wide swath of economy, to include farming, construction, mining, surveying, package delivery, and logistical supply management. So it's like basically we are using GPS in our basic need life. So that was it about the application of GPS.
Miss, how we can use the GPS for the environment, for restoration of environment, restoration activity, or any remedial activity? Do you have any idea? Okay, in the future you can use that information. The GPS, you can look what are the chances, what are the applications. Okay, our next participant Harsh Kumar Saxena. Harsh is here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, your presentation start now.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Harsh from CSE and going to present my presentation on GPS. GPS stands for Global Position System. It is global navigation satellite system that provides location, velocity, and time synchronization. GPS is everywhere. You can find GPS system in a car, a smartphone, and watch. GPS helps you get where are you going from point A to B. What is GPS? It has three components: satellites, ground control, and user equipment. User equipment includes the mobile phones. Ground control includes a base station, and satellites. There are at most 3 satellites that are visible to find the exact location of a person. And GPS, like it has software and hardware components. They are integrated and they are working to give the location of anything that is on Earth. I'm only this much.
Have you finished? You didn't mention anything about this. What you have included in your presentation? What are the
Like we have other things like Navi, GLONASS, and Baidu, but we are considering GPS because it is widely used.
Yes. What are you telling? I'm not getting.
Ma'am, we have other positioning systems like Navi and GLONASS and Baidu, but we are using GPS because it is mostly used and it is easily integrated on a smartphone chip. Like Snapdragon is.
You have included.
Yes, ma'am.
These slides. You should have mentioned what is this. Why you have included?
Ma'am, I'm just speaking the knowledge I'm having right now.
Why? Okay, I'm giving you
Yes,
time.
ma'am.
Just explain. I'm giving you time. Just explain. What are these?
Yes, ma'am. Like software, like chip makers like Snapdragon and MediaTek, they are integrating GPS receivers on that processor, and they are like
What is GPS signal?
GPS signal is we have receivers on our mobile phones and base station on ground. GPS signal is sent from a satellite. We receive those signals and this satellite it calculates distance between the mobile phone and that satellite, and it gets the accurate location of
this. Calculated. What is how we get the data? What is the source of
distance?
the data?
Distance equal to speed into time. Like the speed of a signal is 3 × 10⁸ meter per second, and the time that signal takes to travel from Earth to satellite.
Okay, what is the source
We
of
multiply
the
both
data?
of these. Yes,
How we
ma'am.
take the data? What is the source of the data? How we take out the data?
Source of data is like a satellite sends the data. Like we have a base receiver on the ground.
These are the satellite
That the
signal, but how we take out?
Satellite like we have a base station on Earth, that the satellite knows the location of that base station. We are connected to satellite and base station, both of these.
Okay, how we have the connection with the satellite? How the satellites are connected? In which way you are taking the data? You should know.
As I mentioned, like in your mobile phone we have Snapdragon mobile chip and processor. used to say.
So mobile is the
So
one thing. Okay.
we have integrated, like the company is providing receivers on that chip. Nowadays we are having Navik, and
Okay,
like
what is this
it is
triangulation?
made in
What is
India.
this triangulation? What is this triangulation or a tree
Tri-
literation?
triangulation means like two satellites, they pinpoint a location of a person. The third satellite come matlab, trying to find the accurate location of that person. Two satellites can give a location like in some radius of like 1 kilometer and something, and the third satellite comes into picture and it finds the accurate location of person.
So this figure show the overlapping of the three.
Yes, ma'am. The
What it shows?
overlapping of three of those is the accurate location of that person.
What it shows?
Accurate location of that person. Like two satellites, it will make a like semicircle sort of figure, and like it won't give us accurate location. The third satellite comes into picture, it finds it.
So there is a superimposition of the. I mean, these are the three locations from the three different sides. Like we have the three coordinates, so x, y, z coordinates.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Superimposition of these. I think that is helpful to locate appropriately. Okay, what is
Yes, ma'am.
atomic clock? What is atomic clock?
Atomic clock is like it has an atom that vibrates on its axis. It gives it has a time, it has no somewhat minimum error of about 9 nanosecond in 1 year. So it gives the accurate time to that satellite. It is not used in those satellites because it is too costly.
Okay.
To reduce cost, we are not using those
Line of
atomic clocks.
sight transmission.
Line of sight transmission means a satellite is sending a signal to a receiver, but if something comes in between, it won't be able to propagate the signal to that person, because line of sight means the signal is moving in a straight line.
Okay, you have included so many. Actually, you people have included multiple slides in the presentation, but
Yes.
appropriately, no, you
Yes,
should
ma'am.
explain. You have been given time, so you can explain. Okay, our next participant is Mansi. Mansi is here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, presentation. Your presentation start now.
Ma'am, can we leave or we have to give our attendance also?
Or you just okay. I think you all should attend the seminar of your those who have on the same topic. At least you should know that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Good noon to all of you. My name is Mansi Tripathi from Chemical Branch. Seminar on application of chemical and technology in environment. My topic is global position system. First of all, the global position system consists of 24 satellites that circle a globes one every 24 hours to provide worldwide position, time and velocity information. GPS makes it possible to precisely identify location on the earth by the measuring distance from the satellite. Second, GPS was invented by the utilized State Department of Defense. Its actual name is Navigation System with Time and Ranking. The system became operational in 1994. There are three types of GPS measurement utilized by the surveyors. First of all, satellite GPS baseline, real-time kinematic observation. Third, continuously operation, reference saturation. First of all, static GPS baseline. Static GPS is used to determine accurate coordinate for the survey point by simultaneously recording GPS observation over a known and unknown survey point for at least 20 minutes. Second, real-time kinematic observation. This is where one receiver remains in one position over a known point and base station
and another receiver move between position. The rover station, the position of the rover can be the computerized and stored within a few seconds using a radio link and provide coordinate correction. Third is, third is the continuously operation reference stations, that is called CORS. This very survey quality GPS receivers are permanently installed in a location as a starting point for a GPS measurement in a district. Common users CORS are mainly sites, major engineer, project and location government. Surveys GPS receiver can be collected field data and combine it with the CORS data is calculated position.
Okay, your slide is similar to the another one. I think you have copied it from the same place, huh? You should have mixed some material, some more material in this. Okay.
Applications of GPS. GPS technology is known everything from cell phones and web bulldozers and shipping containers and ATM and include the forming, construction, minimum survey package delivery and the logical supply chain management. Global position system application generally for 5 major categories. First of all, location, navigation, tracking, mapping and timing. Location. Determine a position. Navigation, that means getting from a location to another. Tracking, that means and monitoring object or personal movement. Mapping, create a map of the world. Timing, bringing the precise timing of the world. Thank you.
Okay, Anushka, this is your slide. Next slide. This presentation. With this slide. Can anyone of you identify?
Next slide is for Rupal Yadav.
Rupal Yadav. Okay, you didn't mention.
Yes,
your
ma'am.
name, Okay.
Okay.
Can you tell me any one application of GPS?
Ma'am, as it's named, it's a global and a worldwide system. We can use GPS in many of the fields, like in air navigation. And by using it, a pilot can receive a constant information about where the plane is in 3 dimensions. We can use GPS in farming also. A farmer can use GPS to map out their crops, map crop yields, and control chemical application and seeding. In hydrographic survey, GPS helps us to provide ground and hydrographic surveying. Ma'am, GPS is also used in weather forecasting. We forecast weather by using the GPS. It is also used in coastal monitoring. There has also been at least one experiment where it was used for beach morphology and monitoring. Ma'am, GPS is also used in transport. GPS can used for the train control for such thing as avoiding collision and routing. It is also used in car navigation. At least one project that is working on using GPS for car navigation. Ma'am, GPS also works in a sport field. In a sport world, it is finding a place in a balloon and boat racing. It will eventually become an integral part of much of our technology. Ma'am?
Rupal, okay, you are answering now. Rupal.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I asked this question from the Mansi.
Oh, sorry, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Okay, just you start your presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Here is Rupal Yadav from the chemical branch, and my topic is GPS, and it stands for the Global Positioning System. As it is mentioned in its title, it's global. It's a worldwide system, which is a space-based radio positioning system. It provides suitably equipped user with highly accurate position, velocity, and time data. GPS work on the principle that GPS provide a coded signal to the GPS receiver, and after that GPS receiver decode that this single transmission from multiple satellites and calculate its position. Initially, GPS system was controlled and designed by the US military. The cost of maintaining the system was $400 million per year, including the replacement of aging satellite. If we talk about our Earth, then the circumference of our Earth is 24,900 miles, and it rotates at the rate of 1,038 miles per day. It completes its cycle in one day. And Moon, which is a natural satellite of Earth, it is a 1/4 of the size of the Earth, and its distance from the Earth is 239,000 miles. If we talk about the history of GPS, then the feasible study of GPS was begun in 1960, and after that, the Pentagon appropriate funding was begun in 1973. The first satellite of GPS was launched in 1978, and the system was declared fully operational in April of 1995. In the 2000, the GPS was opened for the public. If we want to know that how GPS work, then the first of all, we calculate the distance between the station on the Earth and GPS receiver. These distance can be calculated on the basis of the amount of time take for the radio signal to travel between these points. Using the satellite in the sky, we can know about the GPS receiver, and we get the signal from the GPS receiver in the terms of latitude and longitude on the Earth. The more satellites the GPS can see, the more accurate your reading. If you want accurate reading, then we have to stabilize more and more satellites. This is the reason that GPS does not work in dense forests and inside the caves, underwater, and inside the building. The GPS has three major segments: space segment, control segment, user segment. In my slide, I have also concluded about the space segment, that space segment has 24 satellites in 6 orbital planes. This space segment is 12,000 miles above the Earth, and its orbit is twice the Earth. In space segment, we can see only 4 satellites, and its distance from the Earth to Moon is 256,000 miles. In space segment, 4 satellites are stabilized in each plane, and 20,200 kilometer altitude, 55-degree inclination. After the space segment, we have control segment. The control segment includes the MCS, which stands for Master Control Station. In Master Control Station, there is a monitor station and ground antennas throughout the world. This system is located in the Colorado Springs. Colorado consists of equipment and facilities required for the satellite monitoring, tracking, and commanding control, uploading, and navigation message generation. After the control segment, the third segment is user segment. User segment is used by military in search rescues, in disaster relief, in surveying, in marine, aeronautical, and terrestrial navigation. User segment is also used in remote controlled vehicle and robot guidance. It is also used in satellite positioning and tracking, shipping, geographical GIS, which also stand for Geographical Information System Recreation. Ma'am, after that I have mentioned that how does GPS receives the signals. The GPS receives the signal from... Yes, ma'am?
These are your slides.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just finish it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just finish it. You are running out of time.
Okay, ma'am. I'm doing fast. GPS receives signals from the satellite. It tells about the directions, and it also says that how fast we are going, our altitude, and helps us to arrive the destination. Ma'am, in the further of slide, I have mentioned about the positions of the satellite, and in the last I have taken an example that how GPS work. That for example, there is a boy who has lost his way. He get to a man and asks that where am I? Then that person tells that you are 625 miles away from the boys. And he again asked to the other person. He said that you are 690 miles away from the mini poles. And he again asked to the third person. Then he said that you are 650 miles away from the Tuscan. By these 3 points, he get that these he assumes 3 circles from this point, and he get to know that these 3 circles intersect at one point, which is in Denver, and he get to know that he is in Denver. The triliteration formula for GPS is D is equals to C into T, where C stands for the speed of light and time, and T stands for the time. So, ma'am, that is.
Okay, what is these things like boys?
These are name of place.
Okay, that example you have mentioned. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, with the next participant, Ratnesh Katyar. Ratnesh
Hello.
Katyar. Yes. Ratnesh is here.
Hello.
Ratnesh Katyar
Hello.
is here or not?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Okay, can you raise your voice? Your presentation start now. Just
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, can I give ma'am on rainwater harvesting ma'am now?
no. This is the GPS. Okay.
Ma'am, but my speech is on rainwater harvesting, ma'am. So what can I do, ma'am?
Okay.
Can I wait on ma'am? After some time?
Next, Vartika Shukla.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay. Now you present. This is your turn. Vartika Shukla.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Vartika Shukla from Chemical Engineering, and my topic is Global Positioning System. So, in this topic, I have made the introduction in which what is Global Positioning System. The Global Position System consists of 24 satellites that circle the globe once every 12 hours to provide a worldwide position, time, and velocity informations. GPS makes it possible to precisely identify locations on Earth by measuring distance from the satellites. Now we have how does GPS work? GPS satellites circles the Earth twice a day in very precise orbit and transmits signal information to the Earth. And also GPS receiver takes this information and use triangulation to calculate. Triangulation is basically 2 satellites and work together, and they basically find the location of the particular person or that location. Essentially, the GPS receiver compare the time a signal was transmitted by a satellite with the time it was received. The time difference tells the GPS requires how far away the satellite is. Now, with the distance measurement from a few more satellites, the receiver can determine the user's position and display it on the user's electronic map. And also the GPS receiver must be locked on the signal at least 3 satellites to locate a 2D position, that is latitude and longitude, which is basically the track movement of the GPS. Now we have methods that like how we measure the GPS. The first one is static GPS baseline, second is real-time kinetic observation, and third one is continuously operating reference station. So these are the methods by which we use the GPS, that is Global Positioning System, and use the receivers. And here are the applications, like how we use the applications for the GPS. GPS technology is now in everything from like cell phone, wristwatches to bulldozer shipping, ATMs, everything. We will see GPS everywhere. Like in location, we determine the position. Navigation, like one location to another. Tracking is monitoring object personal movement. Just mapping, like creating maps of the world. Timing, bringing precise timing to the. These all are the applications for the GPS, that is Global Positioning System. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Vartika. Okay, can you tell me some more applications of GPS in environment, like in biodiversity, in vegetation?
Yes, ma'am, sure. Ma'am, basically the GPS technology supports efforts to understand and forecast change in environment, like by integrating GPS measurement into operational methods like meteorologist they used it for the atmosphere water content can be determined, improving the accuracy of weather forecast, etc. These are the basically environment based applications of the GPS.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I think is it over? I miss now. No participant from the GPS. Anybody?
Okay, thank
Okay, I think everybody has presented now.
Ma'am, can we leave now?
Ma'am.
No. You have to give your attendance also.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, Chote Lal Patel.
Okay. Your topic is GPS.
Yes, ma'am.
Why it is not in the slide? Okay. Just. Slide should be here. Chote Lal. आपने टॉपिक का नाम नहीं लिखा था?
Global positioning system.
Topic, you have mentioned your topic name. I think I have downloaded your file, but it is in the different. Okay, we can search here. What is your branch?
CSC.
CSC.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you just look it here. Where is your file? आपके, I think it is here. What is your topic?
GPS.
What is the name of your file? This is your PPT?
Hello.
Which one is your PPT? I think this is the document. Okay. So, okay. Okay, your presentation start now. Let's finish.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am. Or hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Everybody.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, and ma'am. Today my presentation topic is GPS. History of GPS. GPS is the full name is the Global Positioning System. GPS navigation history. Navigation by stars most widely used by the century. The GPS project was the development in 1973 of the overcome the limitation of the previous navigation system. GPS was created and realized by the US Department of the Defense was originally run with 24 satellites. What is the GPS? GPS is based on the space satellite navigation system provide the location and time and information in weather. It is maintained by the United States of the government and it is freely accessible by the anybody with GPS receiver principle. principle of the GPS. GPS is the based on the release GPS geometrical principle. You can find one location if you know its distance from the other already known in the known location. These things which need to determine the current location of the GPS satellite, the distance between receiver and position, and the GPS satellite. Next slide. Current location of the GPS satellite. Satellite are orbiting of the Earth at altitude of the 11,000 miles. The orbit and location of the satellite are known as the GPS receive store the orbit information all the GPS satellite in elements. Distance between receiver position and GPS satellite. A GPS receiver can tell its own position by using the position data of itself and compare of the data with 3 or more GPS satellites to get the distance of each satellite. By measuring the amount of the time taken by the ratio signal to the travel from the satellite to the receiver, the radio wave travel at the speed of the light about 18 million per second. The distance from the satellite of the receiver can be determined by the distance equal speed into time. Hence, receive the position find out the using trilateration. Distance measured from the two satellite limit or location of the intersection of the two spheres which is a circle. Third, measurement of the narrow or location of the just 2 point, and fourth, measurement determine which point to a location. GPS frequency L1 1575.42 megahertz and L2 1227.6 megahertz, L3 1384.05 megahertz and L4 1379.913 megahertz. Application of GPS military. GPS integrated into the fighter, tankers, helicopters, ships, submarine tank, jeeps and soldier equipment. Target the tracking. Thank you for everyone.
Okay, how you are going to use this information in the future? You have selected this topic GPS.
Hello.
Which one is your branch?
What?
Can you relate to your field? Which one is your branch? What is?
CSC.
CSC.
Yes.
So in your field, in your career, how you can use this information? Okay, is there any further activity that you can do related to this topic, like GPS, or because in the GPS we have lot of data analysis also, no? We can analyze the satellite data, we can do the research, we can do the any developmental activity. So many people have selected this topic, GPS. So you all have common interest in the GPS technology, so you can use the GPS data. There are so many companies or industry are also using this technology, so you can do something. Some people can also do the project in this area. They can use the satellite data. You need to look in the databases like Geographical Information System, IUCN. So that is the main Geographical Information System and Geographical Navigation System. Okay, the students who have given the seminar on the GPS, they also need to look, they also need to search in that database GIS, that all are connected with this. So all these databases are connected with each other. Okay, so you should know the significance. This is an important topic. Thank you all the participants. I think now nobody is left from this group. We have done. Okay, I think we have done it. Now everybody can type the attendance for this session, for the GPS session, Everybody has typed the attendance.
Ma'am, sorry for interruption, but ma'am, I want to ask ma'am that rainwater harvesting speech is scheduled today or not?
Hi, it is scheduled today, na? After this, we are going to start. I need the break of 5 minutes, and I need to save the video of this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, just I will message you, or you can stay here. It's up to you. I need to compile the file. Okay. I think everybody has done the attendance. I need your attendance, everybody.